Welcome back, everyone. This is the first installment of the Wizardry 7 expert playthrough with Bane import. For those of you who have not actually viewed my Bane playthrough, I encourage you to go back and find it. It is a bit more grinding than this game will be, but it's definitely worth a watch so you can see where things came from and why I'm starting from such a good position. So with all that, I'll go ahead and get started here. I am playing a game that includes the copy protection questions. I've got the answers over here in a little reference sheet, and I've copied over my savegame.dbs file from my Wizardry 6 and renamed the extension to BCF for Bane of Cosmic Forge. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Alright, I'm going to go back on mute so you can watch. A gentle wind blows quietly through the trees, and for the first time in many months you feel alive. At long last free from the stuffy confines of the strange flying machine that brought you here, it is good to breathe deep these primal airs. An odd tingling sensation begins to stir inside you, unfamiliar at first, but then you remember. And with memory comes an exciting recognition, as if suddenly finding a thing thought lost long ago. For within the air you once again detect the unmistakable scent of danger. Okay. So first things first, we need to equip. Now we came with a bunch of good stuff because we imported in. So Hildur has all of the items that were not purchasable. And everybody else, you're going to see some running themes going on. So the reason why I have so many of these spears and katanas and the like is regardless of what happens, whenever you input, you always get the default weapon for your class. The rest of the gear you do not get if you import. You only get the default gear, like armor and such, if you start a brand new game. So, you gotta bring all your own armor in. Not a big deal for me. I planned on it. But if you don't plan on it, it could be a big deal. Alright, so everybody's equipped up. So let's review what we have here. So Hildur is our frontline Valkyrie. She came through with the Avenger as her tier 4 weapon. Heater Shield, the rest, this is all freely transferable. Heater Shield, which is something that was a drop, not a purchasable in Wizardry 6. Everyone's going to have a diamond ring, which is something that you have to use let's call it a bug, to get one for every member, which is why my team is an all-female team, as well as them being able to leverage the Valkyrie class. Helm Coif, which is purchasable. Plate Mail, upper and lower, and Solarette, which are not purchasable. Those are just like the Heater Shield, those are drops. Copper Gloves, which are. The Journey Map Kit was given, that's new in Windows 7, so because Hildur is the first member, that's why she got that. And she also got heavy, every person is going to have 100 heavy heals. Now Hildur also is overweight capacity, so I'm going to give up a little bit here by putting some there. And Hildur, that brings her at least down to yellow. And not much I can do about that right now. Okay, the Fairy. Oh, sorry, back in the Valkyrie. She will be switching back and forth mostly between the Valkyrie and Ranger classes. So, Studded Hallbrook, Stud Chaussee, Uskins will be usable by the Ranger and the Valkyrie, depending on where she is. This plate mail gear might switch hands depending on who's where and what class they're in. And the Chamois gloves, that's a purchasable item. If you're a Valkyrie, you're going to use copper, which are better. If you're a Ranger, you're going to use chamois. Alright, Ghost. I brought in 2 rods of sprites, which were not usable by the ninja in Wizardry 6, but are not only usable by the ninja, they're usable by every class as long as you're a fairy in Wizardry 7. So, definitely a very nice piece of gear, universally attributable. Whatever class she ends up becoming, as long as she's in the front row. Again, Diamond Ring, and she's a ninja, so she's got the ninja garb. The Fairy Stick, I'm trying to remember if I need to hold on to that for Wizardry 8 or not, so I'm going to hold on to it just in case. And then as she transitions to other classes, the fairies have very limited equipment available to them. So the Phrygian Cap is one of the few decent headgear that they would, and pretty much everything else is robes and sandals, which is eh. I'm not allowed to get rid of the Ring of Stars, and it's a lightweight gear, so I'll just let the fairy hold on to it. And then 2 Sais, which will end up going to whoever's the first one to become a ninja. Alright, Blade brings forth the... oh, by the way, so Ghost brought through a Tier 3 weapon, because fairy ninjas really can't bring forward a whole bunch of stuff. They're very limited in what they can do in Wizardry 6, and none of it is really useful to bring forward for the fairy itself. But I was able to bring forward the Hayai bow with her. Alright, so the Felper brings forth a Tier 4 weapon, Muramasa Blade, which is a samurai-specific weapon, and whenever you invoke its power, you get an extra attack for free. Wakizashi, which is the default offhand. We will eventually get a Wakizashi +1, but for now, Wakizashi will be most of the game. Studded Hallbrook, Stud Chaussee, Cure Gauntlets, Uskins, those are pretty much going to be staple gear for your Blade for a while, and while she's a samurai, she'll use the Kabuto. She will be switching to a ninja, so there's ninja gear for her, and whenever she switches to a ranger, I believe that'll, or a Valkyrie, I can't remember, she'll start using the Helm Coif. But the Helm Coif is not available to samurai, but the Kabuto is, which is why I had to bring both of them. Alright, Cobra, our monk. Monks have very limited equipment to them as well. So, robe, sandals, skullcap, Hayai bow is what the fairy brought through for us, and of course the diamond ring. Now she also brought forward with her a Tier 3 weapon, the Cat of Nine Tails, which is purchasable, and is a good one to bring forward if you don't know what to bring forward. That's just a universally acceptable weapon. You could be able to transfer it from character to character pretty quickly, and most classes can use that if they're in the back row. Alright, she will be transitioning through a ninja, so we got the full ninja gear. And she will be transitioning through a samurai, so we got the full samurai gear. Alright, Eagle. All the purchasables. Banon's Lance, which is the Tier 4 weapon. She started out as a bard in Wizardry 6, so was able to bring forward her lute. And she's the only character that is going to have the music skill. because that's the only one that had it in Wizardry 6. I started her out as a bard, and nobody else transitioned through a bard, so this is the only character with music. And she will be transitioning back and forth with a ranger, so that's why she has the chamois gloves. Again, copper gloves when Valkyrie, chamois gloves when ranger. And she will also be transitioning through ninja, which is why she has the garb there. Minerva brings forward Spear of Death, another level 4 weapon, and a special one because it's an extended range level 4 weapon that is extremely good, and on top of that, a one-hander. So she was also able to bring forward a heater shield, which was again something you can't purchase, must be dropped. The rest of it is purchasable, and she'll be transitioning between Valkyrie and Ranger as well. And Minerva won't be going through any other classes with the exception of a stint in Samurai one time through, and when that happens I may have a Kabuto somewhere else, or she just may go without a helmet. And then she's just holding on to some of this other gear for now. Alright. My primary way of getting money is going to be resurrection potions. So, just create a few things there, so I have some to sell when the time comes. Alright, and I want to keep the carrying capacity in gray if I can do it. So the only one that is not gray is Valkyrie, and that's because she's carrying all that plate gear. So, not a whole lot to be done there. I guess I could have the ghost hold some of that gear for the time being. Alright, that gets her to gray. Eventually we'll sell some of these heavy heals, and that's also gonna lighten up the load. Alright, so with that, I'm going to show you one more thing before I call this one. Walking through the trees, you suddenly stop. A torrent of thought sweeps past you, dark, haunted images escaping from behind the locked confines of your own meditations. Like a shock, your mind begins to race with the impact of all events that have brought you to this place. Does mankind have a destiny? Does the universe have a destiny? Could it be possible to alter the universe of all that has been before? Or is all that can be to remain all that is? Who is this dark savant, this dark herald of change? And what role shall you play? Will your actions assist the approach of a new order within the universe, or hasten the onslaught of its own destruction? And how can you be certain of the difference? These thoughts begin to fade as quickly as they appeared, and soon your gaze returns to the forest where you stand. Perhaps somewhere here on this new world lies the answers. And then again, perhaps not. Alright. It's a good place to end the first video. Join me next time whenever we start exploring the Dane Tower. Thanks for watching.